WNN, zero-time Emmy Award-winning news broadcast station of the year. With anchorman Zachary Wild Turkey Gallegos and his co-host Manuel Larceny Rada.
So, do you know what policeman has with his whiskey?
Donuts?
Just ice.
Just ice.
Just
ice. Justice. That's funny.
All right.
All right.
So, welcome back. We've got some great, well, not so great news, but we do have great news because now you will be informed. What's the topic? Hot topic right now. We've got a lot of scamming going on. Did you know that?
No, I did not.
Yes, very. It's a time of giving. People are looking for that special bottle that they've been looking for all year. They're willing to splurge, and then they get taken.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, that's terrible.
So, bourbon is booming. Collectors everywhere this time of year are looking for those hard-to-find labels. The problem is that scammers are out there too, trying to fool you with stolen photos and prices that are too good to be true. Yes, too good to be true. And this modern day bootlegging can end with no bottle at all, while you are out hundreds of dollars in cash. Brand Bonds owns the rival vintage bottle shop, selling hundreds of bottles of rare and old bourbons. And the other spirits, some over 100 years old. Yeah, 100 years old. Every holiday season, though, Bonds hears from bourbon lovers who lost thousands of dollars in their money to a bourbon website scam and ended up with a fake bottle to share.
Terrible.
Sad news.
Terrible.
Unfortunately, it is out there. He said it would say Pappy Van Winkle brand is the most counterfeited bottle.
I believe it.
The only one that is mostly counterfeited is Pappy. We would probably all take a stab at it.
Yeah. Well, they're seeing them on secondhand market for
Absolutely.
anywhere between $3,000 and $10,000.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes. He has seen fake 300 bottles of vintage Old Fitzgerald for sale that someone simply refilled with cheap grocery store liquor.
Yeah. I would have put tea.
Ooh, nice. Yes.
You're going to scam them, I might as well scam them.
Absolutely. I agree with you. Other counterfeit brands include Blanton's and any of the hard-to-find Weller labels. It happens even more with Pappy Van Winkle. He says, and voila, you are happy.
Yeah, I believe
Maybe.
it. Yeah.
For a slight time.
Sure. So, warning signs that you might be involved with a scam. The Better Business Bureau of Balinese government says that you could spot a bogus bottle if the price is much lower than compared to other sellers. If the photos are a bit out of focus, say you're online shopping and you can't quite zoom in on that JPEG, it got some pixelation issues, or the photos are just compromised and there's water tags on them, means they stole them from a different website. They promise that they can ship it to you without any questions, and we know that's an issue because not all 50 states it's legalized to be shipping liquor to.
Pay attention
your
to
state.
that. If you're in the market, pay attention to that. Ask questions.
Yeah.
Ask questions. Get as much information as you can.
Yeah, that's perfect segue there, Manuel, because what kind of questions, would you ask somebody in this position? Well, you might say, do you ship to my location? If you're in a state that's illegal and they do that, then voila, you've got a scam. Do I have to pick it up? If they say you've got to show up in person to pick it up, maybe, that's a side of legitimacy because they can't ship it to your area. Do I have to show photo ID at delivery or when I pick it up? If they say, no, that's not an issue, it's probably a scam. In some cases, they say the more questions you ask, the more invasive they are, then you probably know it's a scam.
Probably know it's a scam. Latest news, Sazerac is working on NFC chips. They're releasing these under the foil, trying to combat these scam artists.
Okay.
You can pull them up with your phone. It'll tell you if this bottle has been broken, if the seal has been removed, or broken at one point or another. They're also, Sazerac is going far and beyond by laser engraving their bottles. Yeah. Very
Interesting.
Cool. Yes.
You want to make sure, in my opinion, you always want to shop legitimate stores. Stores that you know have reputations, either distilleries, local stores, or ones that you vetted online.
Absolutely.
Via Better AAA.
Better Business
Better
Bureau.
Business Bureau. You could be dealing with some fly of the night website that's scamming your credit card information.
Here today, gone tomorrow.
Yep, there you go. Ideally, you want to smell it, taste it, or drink it in person, right?
Right.
You don't want to get a bottle shipped from halfway across the world and find out that you're drinking some sweet tea. Purchase from someone you trust. Obviously, that's a big key.
It is.
If you know them and you trust them, they're probably
is.
not going to scam you.
One of the biggest things here, Paramount Wholesale Wine and Spirits says to build a relationship with your local store. That's a good way, right? Legitimate stores build a relationship. They will take care of you if you take care of them.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I believe
absolutely.
it. I have a question for you, Mr. Larceny Prada.
Yes.
What is the difference between a beautiful dress and a beautiful bottle of whiskey?
A beautiful dress and a beautiful bottle of whiskey. What is the difference? One could cost you hundreds of dollars.
So the difference is a beautiful dress can make any girl look gorgeous.
Okay.
And a bottle of whiskey makes all girls look
girls
gorgeous.
look gorgeous. I like it. All right. Now, on to our whiskey weather. Decanters. If you've been interested in bourbon for some time, you likely received a decanter as a gift. These toe-crushing glass bottles, behemoths, make for great low effort present for the whiskey person in your life. But decanters actually have a rich history. They became so integral they became so integral to the bourbon business in the 1960s, 70s, and even 80s.
I remember going to some of my in-laws, I shouldn't say my in-laws, my old family's relatives, and having these weird bottles.
Yes.
And I thought they were just like glass bottles, and they said, no, you can't play with them, you can't touch them. They're actually decanters, they're whiskey bottles.
They are.
Yeah.
They are. So even into the 80s, that most major bourbon brands offered them in their brand portfolios. As competition rose, brands would get more and more intricate, lavish, and creative to lure what would be customers to their offerings. But then it all abruptly ended, and decanters fell out of style and need. There was no need. Yet, their legacy remains as one of the most creative packaging periods American whiskey has ever seen.
The era of bourbon decanters was a period when packaging overshadowed the whiskey itself. That was because the bourbon business was in a glut post-World War II and sales slowed to a halt. Bourbon was sitting at a distillery for a considerable time being unsold and inventory began to stack. As it continued to evaporate from the barrels that the barrels were holding it in, they decided to come up with an idea to be able to push the market. The idea arose to go ahead and put it into a fancy ornate bottle, which would help them offload the stock of whiskeys, and it worked. Jim Beam and McCormick distilleries helped start that trend in the 50s and 60s respectively, and became the most prolific in their decanter offerings, to the point that if you think of something, there's a pretty good chance they made a decanter out of it.
It's out there.
Sports, wildlife, patriotism, pop culture,
Wildcats.
characters, trains, cars,
Yes.
automobiles, the list is endless.
Trains.
Wild Turkey
beer.
decanters,
Yes.
however, are well loved thanks to their iconic Wild Turkey designs and the people's passions for their brand.
Many of these decanters have been lost to time, but given the time period, Obsession, which knick-knacked, and the rise of baby boomers. Rec rooms, a surprising number have survived. Nowadays, it's not uncommon to come across a few liquor stores that use them for decor. Empty,
Yeah.
but use them.
Now, there are still those who collect the investment they collect it for investment properties or purposes because they are now worth a pretty penny. Seeking out old Willet and Sitzer-Weller decanters, others enjoy collecting for a particular theme like Jim Beam's train decanter sets.
Yes.
And others simply enjoy the novelty of it.
Absolutely. Old Pappy was
Yeah.
in decanters.
Yep. Old Forester.
Yes. There has been a lot of talk in 2024 if bourbon is seeing a slowdown in sales. With Kentucky alone having more aging bottles of bourbon than residents, if a glut happened again, will decanters see a revival?
History seems to repeat itself, so I
Very
believe
true.
we're at the peak of the bourbon burst, and I think they've oversaturated with the market. This is my personal opinion with bourbon,
Yes.
and I think we're now starting to see a lot more of these novelty bourbons pushing a little fancier decanters. You see the Japanese whiskey coming out with cool decanters. You see the pistol decanter.
Yes.
By
The Tommy gun.
The Tommy gun, yeah.
Yep. The
So,
Dragon.
the Dragon.
I'm sure you've all seen the
Whistle
Dragon.
Pig.
Whistle Pig, absolutely.
Well, there you have it. If you're a glut for seeing decanters, you might be in luck. Now, stay tuned for our meme of the week.
Anything should happen to you, I don't know what I would do. I'd probably move on and get another replica, but there'd be a 10-minute period there when I would just be needing soil.
Well, that's all for today. Thanks for watching Whiskey News. Until next time.